What does it actually feel like to be an investment banker? Nobody who has done the job can describe it in one sentence, which should tell you something. You have heard the numbers. A first-year analyst at Goldman Sachs makes $125,000 in base salary and clears roughly $185,000 all in by the end of year one. A managing director at an elite boutique in New York can clear over $1 million in a good year and closer to $2 million in a great one. Somebody you knew in college got the offer and disappeared. You see him at a wedding 4 years later, and he looks older than he is, and he is drinking more than you remember. And when you ask how work is going, he says, "It's going," and then he changes the subject. This is the career where, about 6 months in, a 23-year-old making $185,000 reaches a very specific point where a 2-week break sounds better than a $60,000 bonus. And nobody who has not lived it will understand why. It has a name on the message boards. It is called the 6-month wall. It comes like an 18-wheeler. Most people who get in leave before 30. The ones who stay become one of two kinds of person. And the ones who leave spend the rest of their lives explaining the choice to people who think the explanation should be simple. Here's what the ladder actually looks like. Level 1. The summer analyst. You are 20 years old. You are a junior at a target school. Wharton, Stern, Ross, Duke, Georgetown, or one of the 6 or 7 others that every bank actively recruits. You have been preparing for this interview since October of your sophomore year. You have done coffee chats. You have memorized the 3 valuation methods. You have practiced your walk me through a DCF in the mirror. You got the offer in February of your junior year. You start in June. You are in Midtown Manhattan on a Monday morning in June. You are wearing a suit that cost $340 at Brooks Brothers and a tie that your father helped you pick. You are in a conference room on the 41st floor with 39 other summer analysts. There are 2 whiteboards. There is a coffee machine that makes 8 kinds of drinks. The training is 3 weeks. Excel, PowerPoint, accounting, valuation. You are drinking from a fire hose and everyone tells you so, repeatedly. You are competing for a return offer. The hit rate varies by bank and year. At most bulge brackets, it is roughly 70 to 85%. At elite boutiques, it is often lower because the classes are smaller and the bar is specific. The ones who don't get offers go back to school and tell people the internship was a great experience. Some of them mean it. You are placed in a coverage group: technology, media, telecom, healthcare, financial institutions, industrials, consumer. Or a product group: M&A, leveraged finance, restructuring, equity capital markets. You don't get to choose. Your group is determined by the staffer and the week you arrived, and whether somebody in TMT happens to like your resume. Your group will define your next 3 years. It will define which private equity firms recruit you, which clients you touch, which hours you keep. You do not know any of this yet. The work is the work. You are given a pitch book to update. You are given a comp set to pull from Cap IQ. You are asked to fix formatting on a deck at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, and the VP who sent it is in the office and wants it back before he leaves, which he will not do until 1 a.m. You do it. You do it right the first time because doing it wrong means doing it twice. What nobody tells you about the internship is that nothing you produce matters. The pitch book you spent 19 hours on will be printed once, shown to a client, and discarded. The model you built will be saved to a deal folder nobody opens again. The work is a simulation. You are being evaluated on a single question: whether you can be trusted with work that does not yet exist. Level 2, A1, first-year analyst. You are 22. You got the return offer. You took it. You signed the full-time paperwork in November of your senior year, and you spend the next 6 months not thinking about it. You graduate. You take 2 weeks off. You move to Jersey City or the Upper East Side, and you show up on a Monday in late July. Your base is $125,000. The stub bonus at the end of December, covering your first 5 months, is around $30,000. Your first full-year bonus, paid out the following January, will be somewhere between $75,000 and $105,000, depending on your bucket and your group's deal flow. That puts your first 12 months of earned compensation at roughly $155,000 to $175,000. You tell this to nobody. Your friends from college are making $72,000 in consulting and $88,000 in tech, and you learn quickly that the number is a weapon that cuts both ways. The work is different now. You are no longer producing for a simulation. You are producing for a live client. Week 1, you are putting together a working group list. You are running KYC checks. You are building a deal team distribution. None of this is hard. All of it takes time, and all of it has to be right. By week 4, you are iterating on a CIP. By week 8, you are running buyer outreach. By week 12, you are building the data room index. By week 16, you are sitting in a diligence session taking notes for the VP because he asked you to, and you don't know how to say no. You work 80 hours a week, sometimes 90. In December, before the holidays, 105. You have a Slack channel for your analyst class, and the channel is mostly people complaining about their staffers and sending screenshots of MD emails sent at 2:14 a.m. You find it funny for the first 3 months. In the 4th month, you stop finding it funny. You still send the screenshots, you just don't laugh. Somewhere between month 5 and month 7, it happens. The message board people call it the 6-month wall. One Tuesday in February, you wake up and you cannot get out of bed. You are not sick. You are not hungover. You just cannot move. You call in and say you have food poisoning. Your associate texts back and asks if you can still get him the comps for the Wednesday morning meeting. You say yes. You work from bed until 11 p.m. That's the 6-month wall. It doesn't come served on a fleece Patagonia. It doesn't come in an email. In a WSO survey of bankers during the deal boom, 40% of first-year analysts said they had sought or considered mental health counseling. For second years, it was 32%. For third years, 46%. One analyst, interviewed for an NBC piece, said he had lost 30 pounds in a month because he was standing in front of his laptop for 17 hours a day and forgetting to eat. Another said he had been diagnosed with high blood pressure at 23. None of this is unusual. All of it is normal, in a way that would not be normal anywhere else. The first insider truth. The compensation is not what pays you. What pays you is the exit. Every A1 on the floor knows this on day 1. They are not building a career in banking. They are building a resume for private equity, and the 2 years of analyst grind is the tuition they are paying to be considered. Level 3, A2, second-year analyst. You are 23. You have survived. You got your first-year bonus, and the number was $92,000 cash, which hit your account on a Friday in late January. You looked at it, and you did not feel happy. You did not feel anything. You used part of it to pay down the last of your private student loans, and you put the rest into a brokerage account. And you did not tell your parents the number, because you knew they would not know what to do with it. Your base jumps to $135,000. Your all-in for the year will be somewhere between $195,000 and $225,000. You are now the one the summer analyst emails when he doesn't know what a WGL is. You are patient with him. You remember being him. You are also now the one the VP calls at 10:30 p.m. to say the model needs to be reworked before tomorrow's IC meeting. And you do it without a word, because this is how it works. The recruiting starts. It starts the October of your A1 year for most PE firms, and it is brutal, and it is fast. You interview on Saturdays. You do case studies in 3 hours. You get the offer, or you don't. And if you don't, you interview again. And if you do, the offer is for a job that starts 14 months from now. Megafund PE pays first-year associates $225,000 base, plus $175,000 to $275,000 bonus, plus carry. Upper middle market is $185,000 base and lower. Middle market is $160,000 to $200,000 base. You take the best offer you get. You are no longer building anything for your bank. You are building a countdown. You have 14 months, then 8 months, then 2 months, then 3 weeks. You count them. You tell nobody you are counting them. Your staffer does not know you have an offer. He will find out 3 weeks before you leave, on the day you tell him, and he will say, "Congratulations, and ask you to finish the 3 deals you have in flight before you go. Around now, you meet Kevin at your cousin's wedding. Kevin is 25. He enlisted in the Navy at 19. He is 3 years into a 20-year enlistment. He is stationed in Jacksonville, Florida. He makes $52,000 a year, and his housing is covered, and he has full medical and a pension that vests when he is 39. He asks you what you do. You say you are in investment banking. He asks what that means. You start to explain leveraged buyouts, and you stop and say, you help companies buy other companies. He nods. He asks how the hours are. You tell him. He says, oh. That's when he changes the subject. The second insider truth. The job runs on 2 lies. The first is that the hours are temporary. Most of them are not. The second is that the money will eventually be worth it. It already is, and it already isn't. Level 4, the associate. You are 26. You did not take the PE offer. You were a bottom bucket interviewer, or you changed your mind at the last minute, or your associate and your VP both asked you to stay, and you stayed. Maybe you went to a 2-year MBA and came back as a post-MBA associate at 28. Either way, you are here now, and you are an associate, and the grind has changed shape. Your base is $225,000. Your first-year bonus is $60,000 to $90,000, roughly 60 to 70% of base. Your all-in is around $285,000 to $315,000. By your 3rd year as associate, your base is $260,000, and your bonus can run up to 100% of base, putting you over $500,000 in total comp. You own a model now. You manage analysts. You still work until 1 a.m. most nights, but you work smarter, and you know which battles to escalate and which to absorb. Your girlfriend from college moves out. You've been dating for 5 years. She moves out in April, on a Tuesday, while you are in a client meeting in Atlanta. Her note on the counter does not say she's leaving because of the job. Her note says she's leaving because she doesn't recognize you anymore. You read it at 11:30 p.m. in a hotel room at the Four Seasons, and you order a bottle of wine from room service, and you go back to the deal doc the VP sent at 8:47 p.m. One of the MDs in your group is 42, and he is on his 2nd divorce. Another is 45 and just had his first kid. He sends you an email at 4 a.m. from the NICU, asking if the presentation is ready for the 7 a.m. call. It is. You sent it at 2. He tells you, months later at a happy hour, that he has missed every single one of his son's first-year milestones. He is not complaining when he says it. He is stating a fact. He is also not drinking water at the happy hour. You start thinking about exit again. Corporate development at a portfolio company. A hedge fund seat if you can hack the interview. A strategic finance role at a unicorn. You look at the postings on Blind at 1 a.m., and you see the comp, and you see the hours, and you close the tab. You will not leave this year. You will think about leaving next year. You will not leave next year either. An MD in your group gave the summer intern an analogy last week. One of the best MDs you've ever worked for, and he told this to a 20-year-old on his first week. He said, banking is like your girlfriend telling you she wants to spice things up. When she says it at dinner, it sounds like your life is about to change forever, and then the gloves and the latex come out, and you realize there's no going back. The intern laughed. Everyone at the table laughed. You laughed. You still think about it 3 weeks later, and you realize you are not thinking about the intern. Level 5, the Vice President. You are 30 or 31. You made VP after 5.5 years in the seat, which is about average. At a bulge bracket, your base is $195,000 to $220,000. At an elite boutique, it is closer to $250,000. Total comp at the VP level, per the 2026 WSO data, runs a median of around $362,000, with strong performers clearing $450,000 to $500,000, and the very best at PJT or Centerview crossing $600,000 in a good year. You are making real money now. You have not figured out what to do with most of it. The job has changed again. You are no longer executing. You are managing execution. You review the analyst's comps. You review the associate's model. You review the pitch deck before it goes to the MD. You are the quality control layer. You are also the layer that takes the call from the client's CFO at 10:47 p.m. on a Thursday when the model needs to be recut for a new scenario. You start origination work, you go on pitches, you tag team with an MD on a relationship, and you start building your own book. Some MDs protect their client relationships and never let you near them. Other MDs hand them to you in your first VP year because they are planning their own exit. You learn quickly which kind of MD you work for. You buy an apartment. A one-bedroom in the West Village, $1.4 million, 25% down, a 30-year mortgage that feels manageable on your comp but would have been impossible 4 years ago. You do not talk about the apartment with your parents. They are proud, but they do not understand the number. Your mother asks if you need her to send you the Tupperware set she has been saving for you. You say yes. You hug her. You do not tell her you paid $89 for dinner the night before because it was faster than finding something cheaper. Kevin is 33 now. He is a petty officer first class. He got married last year to a school teacher in Jacksonville. They have a house. It is a 3-bedroom ranch on a cul-de-sac, and it cost them $285,000, and they paid $40,000 down, and his VA loan covered the rest. His monthly mortgage is $1,480. Your monthly mortgage is $7,940. You are both 33. You both look older than you are. One of you looks tired, and one of you looks weathered, and those are two different things. The third insider truth. VP is when the trap clicks shut. The money is real, the lifestyle has calibrated to the money, the apartment is paid for in monthly installments that require the next bonus, and the only way out that does not shred the compounding is up. So you go up. You don't call it a trap, you call it a career. Level 6. The Director. You are 35 or 36. You were promoted from VP after 3 years. Director is the pre-MD slot. Some banks call it Senior Vice President. Some banks call it Executive Director. At bulge brackets, it is a 2 to 4 year wait station before the MD vote. Your base sits between $250,000 and $400,000. Your total comp runs $475,000 to $900,000, depending on bank, group, and year. You have equity vesting. You have a number you do not say out loud. The job is now almost entirely relationships. You are expected to bring in business. You are graded on the pipeline of deals you originate, not the models you review. The hours are theoretically better. In practice, they are different. You do fewer 3 a.m. nights. You do more 6:30 a.m. flights to cities you do not want to visit to have lunches with CFOs you do not know. You get divorced. Or you do not get divorced because you never got married. Both versions of you are common in this industry. The MD divorce rate on Wall Street is the subject of decades of quiet jokes, and the joke is that it is not a joke. A 2018 study at a major bulge bracket put marriage dissolution among senior bankers at roughly 1.5 times the national average. You read about this one night at 2 a.m. in a hotel in Dallas, and you close the laptop, and you do not think about it again for a week. You get a specific Tuesday. It is October. You are in the office at 11:14 a.m. You have just finished a pitch call, and your assistant has blocked your next 40 minutes for lunch. You walk to the window. You look at Park Avenue. You are 36 years old, and your net worth is somewhere around $3.1 million. You own an apartment, a vacation share in the Hamptons, and a 401k that compounds without you thinking about it. You are doing what you set out to do at 20 when you took the offer. You realize, in the exact sentence form you have never spoken out loud to anyone, that you have no idea what you would do if you stopped. You do not tell anyone about this Tuesday. You do not tell your therapist, whom you see on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. before the day starts. You do not tell the girl you have been dating for 7 months. You do not tell Kevin, who is now 38, who has 1 year until his Navy pension vests, who is going to retire at 39 with a guaranteed lifetime income equal to roughly half of his base pay plus full medical, and who will then take a civilian job at a defense contractor in Jacksonville that will pay him $110,000 a year for work that ends at 5:30 p.m. You do not tell Kevin because you know what he would say. He would say, You're the smart one. And he would mean it, and you would not know how to answer him. Level 7, the managing director. You make MD at 40, or 42, or you never make MD and you leave at 38 to run a corp dev team at a mid-cap tech company for $480,000 all in, and better hours and the understanding that you are done being great at something, and now you are going to be fine at something. That is a real choice a lot of people make, and very few of them regret it. You made it. Your base as a new MD at a bulge bracket is $500,000. Your bonus in a good year takes you over $1 million. In a great year, with a huge deal you originated that closed on schedule, $2 million. The very top rainmakers, the ones with 25-year client relationships and a sector brand, can clear $3 to $5 million in an elite year. You are not one of those yet. You might be in 10 years. The job is now sales. It has always been sales. You did not know it was sales when you were 22 building comps at 3 a.m., but that's because you were not yet the asset. You are the asset now. The bank pays you to maintain a relationship list and to bring in deal flow. And the model you once ran at 2 a.m. is now run by a 24-year-old whose face you have seen twice and whose name you half remember. The fourth insider truth. The MDs who make real money are not the technically brilliant ones. They are the ones who are good in a room. They can walk into a CFO's office and ask about his kid's soccer game and know the kid's name. They can remember which client hates golf and which one loves it. They are political in the good sense, and they are not political in the bad sense. And the difference between those two things is a skill that cannot be trained. You either have it, or you have learned it by 35, or you never have it. You see Kevin at a reunion at 42. He has been retired from the Navy for 3 years. He has put on weight. He looks relaxed. He works at the defense contractor at a desk that overlooks a parking lot. He coaches his son's little league team. His pension pays him $2,700 a month for the rest of his life, plus medical. His civilian salary is $118,000 now. He works 40 hours a week. He asks you what you do with your time. You say you work. He laughs. He is not trying to hurt you. He is laughing because he thought the answer would be more interesting. You drive home. You sit in the kitchen of your apartment with the Hudson River visible through the window, and you do a calculation you have done before. If you retire at 50, you will have roughly $14 million in liquid assets. If you retire at 55, $22 million. If you retire at 60, $35 million. None of these numbers answer the question that started the calculation, which was, what for? If the 22-year-old version of you could see this kitchen, he would not understand it. He would see the apartment and the view and the number in the brokerage account, and he would feel the thing he came to New York to feel, which was the feeling of having won. He would not be wrong exactly. He would be missing something. He would not understand why Kevin changed the subject at the wedding when he was 25. He would not understand why the girl left the note. He would not understand the Tuesday at the window on Park Avenue. He would not understand any of it, because the only version of the story he was told at 20 ended at the number. He would not be supposed to understand it yet. That was the whole point. You had to go get it to find out what it was.